I work for the Ministry of Health and Social Development, but this morning I'm doing a brief MC/welcome. So welcome all of you. Today is International Women's Day, so if you're a woman, give yourself a round of applause. And if you're a man, give all the women a round of applause. Just because without us, you would not be here. All right, so we're going to have the official welcome by the Office of Gender Affairs Coordinator, Ms. Tara Sue Morgan, followed by the President of Zonta, Ms. Selena O'Neill. Please give them a round of applause.
Happy International Women's Day. Thank you so much, too. No, the Office of Gender Affairs really is happy to see everyone here this morning. I'm really happy for the turnout. Women, give yourselves a round of applause. And men, give the women a round of applause for me, please. But women, I'm sorry, women, that's the way you give yourself a round of applause? Celebrating yourself? That cannot be. So I'm just laid with a task to do the official welcome, to welcome one and all here this morning. I'm really happy to have you all here. We have our young girls, we have our women, we are celebrating the achievements and all that we have done. And this year with our team, Women's Importance in the Press for Progress, we'll look at everything and all that we have achieved, right? And even coming through the trio from last year, August and September, we have stand strong and resilient as women, haven't we? Yes. Haven't we? Yes. It don't seem so. I don't feel so. But we have stood the test of time. So today we are going to be going into a day where we are going to look at the ways in which we have shown our importance in the Press for Progress. So one and all, we thank you again and we welcome you to this event and we hope that you will have a great day. Thank you all.
Hey, good morning again, everyone, and happy International Women's Day. Day to celebrate ourselves. So as we go through the day, I'm encouraging all of you to call a woman that inspires you, call someone who you feel needs to be inspired, and just make them feel special today of all days. I mean, we should be celebrating ourselves every day because of the remarkable things that we do every day, sometimes not recognized, but I think that it's important that we always try to encourage one another. So thank you. With the avalanche of hashtags such as Me Too, Time's Up, Equal Pay for Equal Work, the various women's marches, and many once powerful abusers falling like dominoes, can we now say that the Office of Gender Affairs and Zonta even are soon to be obsolete? Dare I say, I hope so. If you visit Zonta's website, you'll see that as we approach our 100-year anniversary next year, Zonta still envisions a world where women are represented in decision-making positions on an equal basis with men, and where no woman lives in fear of violence. So yes, we hope that one day we will all be safe, sufficiently empowered, and equally paid. We hope that women-only sanctuaries like Umoja in Kenya, where women desperately seek refuge from sexual violence and female genital mutilation, will be obsolete. Domestic violence will be ancient history. However, we are not there yet. We have made a lot of progress. You see women in leadership positions all around you in the BVI. It's okay. And we are finding our voice. So we are making progress, but we have a long way to go. Recently, many of us have taken inspiration from the children who survived the latest school shootings in Florida. The young women in particular have caught my eye with their poise and fearlessness. I've learned that this poise didn't happen by accident. The students have been prepared by the school to be able to speak extemporaneously. They debated gun rights before the shooting. They were therefore equipped to face, wow, and perhaps change the world. The lessons for us are to be prepared while knowing that adversity will at some point come our way. No greater evidence than what we went through last year. We are still standing, as Tara Sue mentioned earlier. The presentations you will hear today are not magic pills. Neither are inspirational quotes that you see on Facebook every day. However, knowledge is indeed power when managing your hard-earned money and developing life goals. We also need to receive positive reinforcement and be encouraged as regularly as we need to wash our faces and brush our teeth every morning. Once is not enough. So I'll turn it over to the presenters now, but before I go, I again encourage you to reach out to a woman who inspires you or who you may feel needs inspiration. We really do need and appreciate the support. Happy International Women's Day. Cheers.
Thank you, Ms. O'Neill, for that. So I just want everybody to just look to your left, and if there is a strong woman to your left, tell them you are strong. Yes. Now I want you all to look to your right, and if there's a beautiful woman to your right, tell her you are beautiful. Now I want everyone to repeat after me. I am strong. I am beautiful. Yes. So we're going to just go right into our presentations with our first presenter, Dr. Rubain. Are you ready?
And while she makes her way up, we're going to go and give away our first bouquet of flowers. When you came in, you filled in the back of a ticket, and so we're going to pull one of the names now to see who receives the first bouquet.
Pull it, pull it, pull it.
Sandy Boyce. Is she still here? Is she here? Hi. Would you like to come and receive it? No pressure, no pressure.
Lots of pressure.
Cheers. There you go. There you go. And now over to Dr. Rubain. Thank you.
Happy International Women's Day. I am happy to be here, and I'm happy to see such a wonderful cross-section in our demographic. We have the very young, and we have the very wise. So welcome, everybody. Welcome. Okay, so the theme for this year's International Women's Day is progress. And I prayed and I prayed and I prayed about this topic, keeping a sound mind while we progress. And I really didn't know what to say after the flood, Irma, Maria. What could I say to ladies about keeping a sound mind? And God inspired me, so I'm going to share the thoughts that He inspired me with, and I hope that they have the impact on you that it had on me. Attitudes and beliefs have everything to do with how you experience life, both in difficult and in joyous times. Attitudes and beliefs, like seeds buried deep in the earth, give rise to trees that bear fruit. Your positive beliefs bear the fruit of greater love, compassion, and health. Your negative beliefs bear the fruit of fear, isolation, and illness. Positive attitudes empower you to focus on the blessings in your daily life and to enjoy a measure of happiness that you might otherwise overlook if you focus only on the difficulties in your life. Asking the question about mental health really helps at this point because what best addresses our psychological needs may not be popular or even relevant in the carnal world we live in today. If we had to capture in one word what makes us in all our psychological complexity most mentally happy, it would be this: hope. The human psyche, as designed by God, is designed to operate on hope. The more hopeful we are, the more mentally healthy we are. The less hopeful we are, the more things fall apart on us. Our psyches, our inner selves, our souls are hope machines. Our psyches burn hope like our bodies burn energy. And just like our bodies grow faint when we run low on energy, when we run low on hope, we start feeling discouraged, even desperate. All the wonderful things that have happened to us in the past will not fuel our hope if our future looks bleak. We can be grateful for the past, but we must have hope for the future in order to keep going. When we're hopeful, the world is full of wonder and possibilities. We have drive and curiosity. We don't want to waste our lives. We take on challenges and see adversity as something to be overcome. But when we run low on hope, the world becomes a fearful, threatening place full of chaotic futility. Hopelessness saps our desire and drive. It robs us of our interest and appetite. We just want to curl up and protect our inner selves, our souls. This makes the mental health of hope a powerful pointer to reality. It means we are designed to be hopeful, and hope is what we feel about the future. But the only way we can have hope for the future is if we believe the future is promising. This means we are designed to believe in promises, designed to believe in a sovereign God. Your view of God will determine your view of life, or your view of life will determine your view of God. If God is your reference point, then you'll be able to make sense of that which has no sense, in effect producing hope, knowing there's a grand plan for your life. If your circumstances are your reference point, then you will neither be able to make sense of life or God because you have an inverted view, which is devoid of hope. The belief in Jesus' resurrection is the hopeful assurance of a life after this earthly life. Second to that is your understanding of the sovereignty of God. If you do not understand the sovereignty of God, then you will not be able to make sense of life. Both your view and therefore response to the sovereignty of God will determine your ability to cope with the confusion of life. Sovereignty simply means to rule over, to reign over, and to be in control of. To say that God is sovereign, which speaks of his kingship, his kingly role, is to say that there's nothing that happens over which he is not in control. That control is manifested either by direct causation, he makes it happen, or by consciously allowing it to happen. You cannot have a sovereign God and have luck, because that means that things happen haphazardly with no order to them. God's sovereignty says that things do not just happen. Things are under control even when they're out of control. God does everything after the counsel of his own will. He is creator, controller, and sustainer of all things. We have to establish this as the governing principle of our lives. The governing principle of life has to be the sovereignty of God. Therefore, you can never first appeal to your circumstances. If God is sovereign and you are not sovereign, that means your circumstances are not sovereign. God is the reference point for life. Life cannot be the reference point for God. It must be the sovereignty of God. The human heart is designed to love God most and is never happier than when it does. The human soul is designed to find its rest in the promises God himself makes to us. The human psyche is designed to find its security in the unconditional acceptance and love of its creator. And the human body is designed to work best when the heart, soul, and mind are functioning in a harmonious love and trust in God. As we progress, ladies, we need to acknowledge the importance of family. A good Christian family is one that lines up with biblical principles and one in which each member understands and fulfills his or her God-given role. The family is not an institution designed by man. It was created by God for the benefit of man, and man has been given stewardship over it. The basic biblical family unit is comprised of one man, one woman, his spouse, and their offspring or adopted children. One of the primary principles of the family unit is that it involves a commitment ordained by God for the lifetime of the members. The husband and wife are responsible for holding it together, the current attitude of our culture notwithstanding. Woman was given to man for the purpose of being her husband's helper and to bear children. The husband and wife in a Christian marriage are to remain faithful to one another for a lifetime. God declares equality of worth in that men and women are created in God's image and therefore equally valuable in his eyes. This does not mean, however, that men and women have identical roles in life. Women have their special abilities as well as men. The difficulties we are seeing in our community is a result of the reversal and non-adherence to those rules. Ladies, we have a decision to make. If we believe in the sovereignty of Jehovah and we want to keep a sound mind as we progress, we must revisit his covenants with us and make an informed choice. We have been doing our own thing outside of his covenants as we progress, but are we happier for it? Does our progress reflect the growth and development of his kingdom here on earth? We must be brutally honest with ourselves as we contemplate our next steps. We must believe in something greater than ourselves. We must believe, if we're going to keep a sound mind as we progress, that he who is greater than us wants us to be stable, happy, secure in his eternal love for us. The proven path to our soundest mental health is a robust, holistic trust in everything and every circumstance in the triune Christian God. Ladies, as you continue the rest of your International Women's Day, I ask that you reflect on who God is in your life and who you would like him to be. And as we come together as a community to heal what is broken, rebuild what is broken, repair what is broken, we have to remember who he is to us. Thank you.
All right, let's give Dr. Rubain one more round of applause. So, like I promised, after every presentation, we're going to continue to give out those lovely yellow bouquets in the back. So we're ready to pull again. I think what Dr. Rubain spoke about, reflecting on who God is in your life to help us rebuild and restore. Yes, you would agree with me?
And the next lucky winner, Elaine Colwood.
Stand in the picture with her. Go ahead. All right, our next presenter is Miss Rhonda Hodge-Smith. She'll present on financial literacy. So how much of you have problems with finances? I know I do. I need a whole lot of mentorship, prayers, healing. Anyway, give her a round of applause as she approaches the podium.
How is everyone today? Okay. Today, on the commemoration of International Women's Day, women can be proud of our accomplishments and progress in the global movement for human rights, for dignity, and for equality. This even though, in many cases, women are still underrepresented when it comes to leadership and holding political office. Our territory is far from claiming to be free from gender-based discrimination. Since the trends of domestic violence against women, professional and compensatory glass ceilings, and the imbalance which many workplaces trigger between home and professional life are still very prevalent. My message today, as mentioned already, will focus on an issue that affects everyone at all levels of our society, but particularly is vital for women since we stand to bear the greatest brunt of forfeitures when we remain illiterate regarding financial issues. What role do you play when it comes to your household finances? Planning for retirement, making decisions regarding investments, insurance, and managing of budgets? Chances are not a significant enough role, notwithstanding the likelihood that your relationship with money will evolve as you go through your various stages of life. The OECD in a recent study cited low financial knowledge and lack of confidence as two barriers to the greater financial well-being of women. It's very likely then that women who have a financial plan will be more confident and in control of their finances, since they're better able to keep pace with their financial choices. Women in general are likely to have more power over the purse strings regarding, for example, where the family spends their next vacation, what family vehicle to purchase, the decision of whether the children attend public school or private school, if the children can and should wear name brand clothing, and even whether the children will purchase school lunches. Female immigrant workers in the BVI are likely to diligently send money home for the upkeep of parents and children living abroad. The 2010 census showed that almost 35% of households in the BVI are headed by women who are raising their children as single parents. If this category of women are to see recognizable progress in their financial well-being, proper planning will be crucial. Aside from the statistics on women as single parents and unaccompanied migrant workers, women in general are likely to play a substantial role when it comes to raising the children, since they also make important daily decisions regarding the allocation of household resources. This obviously means that women in our society, whether purposefully or incidentally, transmit financial habits and skills onto their children. But in order to transmit information that will in turn help the children to become good financial stewards, women themselves must again have adequate financial skills. Financial literacy is not only important in the context of women's household dealings, but as you will notice, many women in our community are engaging in entrepreneurial activities for which they will need disciplined financial management skills in order to keep their businesses afloat. In the press to accomplish equilibrium between finances and financial responsibilities, there are a few important points to remember. Number one, get in the right mindset. Develop an attitude of living within your means and spending less than your monthly income. Put away the attitude of government welfare, lottery winnings, and money showing up on your doorstep. Observe where your money goes for a few weeks. Prepare a budget. Number two, prioritize your finances. Begin with the necessities: food, water, shelter. Invest in your retirement. Do you know that over 50% of millennials have not saved anything for retirement? Seek to pay off your existing debt. Rid yourself of bad debt, since these can and will impede your progress. Determine just how much financial support you can lend to family and others whom you are obligated to assist. This goes for children as well, who should consistently be taught the value of saving and budgeting. An allowance, for instance, can help kids to hone these skills if they're taught how to allocate various percentages of their stipend. Number three, try to build upon your emergency fund. An unforeseen medical crisis, a destructive hurricane, a major repair of a car or appliance can wipe you out. But if you set aside an emergency fund, at least you will have something to keep you in the green if something goes wrong. 4, steer away from excessive debt. Seek out ways to lower your expenses. This can be as simple as cooking lunches and dinners for your family, hanging clothes out on the line to save utility bills, planting a garden to save on grocery bills. And I'm an avid vegetable gardener. I can tell you that the savings when it comes to grocery bills, the gym and medical bills can be stupendous. In steering away from excessive debt, you may also want to get the family involved in doing their part. For example, assisting with childcare. Sources at Town and Country Planning reveal that women are responsible for 50% of applications for building or new construction in the BVI each year. But one area which could leave these prospective homeowners in a bind is cost overrun on their construction projects. To prevent your endeavor to build a home from becoming a burden, be sure to divide your project into manageable phases. This will help you to manage your progress. Also create a formal registered contract. And most importantly, keep your hand on the pulse of disbursements to your contractor and subcontractors. 5, purchase adequate insurance. When I refer to insurance, it goes across the board. In recent months, throughout the British Virgin Islands and US Virgin Islands, we've been rudely introduced to the term underinsured, which means in a nutshell, inadequate insurance coverage. If you are inadequately insured for the relevant perils, then you may end up paying for damages out of pocket. Properly insuring your assets helps to transfer the risk to the insurer in the event of a claim and thereby mitigate costs associated with certain perils. When examining what you should insure, consider building and contents insurance if you're a homeowner, contents insurance if you're a renter. There are a number of auto insurance options, life insurance. Again, there are a slew of options out there from term life, critical illness, to income protection insurance, health insurance, professional indemnity, and so on. National health insurance also falls under the category of health insurance and is available to all contributing legal residents in a BVI. With the current socioeconomic environment in the BVI, I cannot emphasize enough the need to review your insurance coverage, for instance, every 4 to 5 years to safeguard against underinsurance, and of course, to ensure that your coverage remains current and appropriate. Number 6, optimize your plan. Create a system that permits you to keep check on your progress. Ensure that you plan for taxes, and most definitely have a will prepared by a lawyer sooner than later. Making a will not kill you. Finally, take care of your physical and emotional well-being. Women go through a lot. As one woman put it, you either go to a job you love, which takes you away from the family you love, or you go to a job you hate and then go home to ungrateful children. Either way, make the right choice, the right decision for your well-being, but do so with eyes wide open so that your quest for progress will not be impeded. If there was a magic elixir for success in each global community, even men would be hard-pressed not to agree that over 50% of the formula must include the education of women. We at the Financial Literacy Program, Money Matters at the Financial Services Commission, would suggest that this can be taken further and revised to reflect that financial literacy is the key to financial success. And when women lead a charge in this respect, the manifested habits in turn support successful nation building. In closing, the quest for progress by women cannot be achieved by complacency. You must be willing to stand up and make purposeful movements toward the attainment of your goals. As T. Harv Eker, author of Millionaire Mind, put it, the single biggest difference between financial success and financial failure is how you manage your money. It's simple. To master your money, you must manage your money. Thank you.
We have another round of applause for Rhonda for that informative presentation. And we're going to give away another wonderful arrangement. I'm going to come around and let someone pick the lucky winner. 1 second. School children. If I can ask you to just select one of the names out of the bag. Thank you. Appreciate it. Gotcha. And the lucky winner is Lydia Scatliff. Our MC has disappeared, I think, so I'm going to take over and just ask my lovely Zonta sister, Marva Titley Smith, to come and make a presentation on goals.
And happy International Women's Day to all the lovely ladies out there. It's a beautiful day to be a lady. Yes. And in fact, today, as we observe International Women's Day, and the theme, Press for Progress, it also happens to fall within the 6-month mark of Hurricane Irma. And that significance is not lost on me because we've been through a lot, would you agree, in the last 6 months? Yes. But we're still standing, or sitting in this case. But we're still strong, and we're still pressing forward. And so as we talk about the Press for Progress, in the BVI, I'd like to consider it in the context of rebuilding the BVI. In the last 6 months, we've seen in the recovery phase that a number of women have actually played integral roles in leadership positions. They have literally rolled up their sleeves and been in the trenches or in the guts, you know, picking up debris and garbage and housing displaced persons in their homes, and really doing the work that to us is natural as women. Today we will be, Zonta Club of Tortola will be observing that progress and actually identifying women who have done some of that hard work and to whom we really want to say a very big thank you. So later today you'll see some flowers going out to special women in this community who have done some of that work, and we're not disclosing the names at this time because we want them to be surprised, pleasantly so. But we'll be doing that later today. But I want to say that there's work for us to do as we move forward in the next 6 months. And I want us to set some goals around 3 areas of work. The first area of work is to work on yourselves. This is probably the most critical area of work that I want to share with you today because it means taking some time to reflect. Now, there's one thing about a catastrophe that really stares you in the face and causes you to pause and consider what is important to me. What is the meaning of my life? What purpose do I have? And Dr. Rubain in her remarks hit on some of this as well, because it's really, why am I here? What is my role as a woman in this community? What are some of the things that I need to do? And really reflecting on those things and perhaps making some changes. So Miss Rhonda, I don't see where she is. There she is, Rhonda Smith mentioned, you know, in our financial lives as well, maybe there's some changes that we need to make, you know, the budget. I like $5 cups of coffee, I have to say. You know, I'm a sucker for coffee, and $5, I can't do that every day. So we need to make some changes, clearly. But the work on ourselves, that is critical if we are to press for progress in rebuilding the BVI. But it also means admitting the areas where we may need some help, the areas where we are having some challenges. The fact that we've been through the floods, the Hurricane Irma, Hurricane Maria, and I'm not even forgetting Hurricane Jose, because he was in there too, okay? And that was one of the scary moments in my life also. But all that we've been through, there may be some work that we need to do to heal and to recover from what we've been through in those past 6 months. So the first area of work is to work on yourself and to set some goals around that. The second area of work I want to encourage you to do is to work in your families. Now, this one is also critical because we see that the fabric of our community, really the fabric of the BVI, is sewn together one family at a time. So the families are strong, the BVI is then strong. The families are weak, the BVI is then weak. And so as women, I don't think anyone will argue the role that we have to play within our families to really strengthen those ties. So quality time, we talk about it all the time, but what does that look like in your family? What will it take for you to take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes to talk with your children, your grandchildren, your great-grands? We have some wise women in this room. You know, to be able to really spend some quality time with them, talking about their goals, talking about what they've been through in the past 6 months, talking about, you know, what are they looking forward to? Dr. Wiben talked about hope. What hope do they have? So whether it's with our children or with our spouses or with our parents or extended family members, there is some work that we as women really are good at that we can do within our families to build a stronger BVI. Now, the third and last area of work that I want to encourage you to do is actually work within our community, working together. Again, here is an opportunity for us to build back stronger, better, greener, all these buzzwords that we like to use, but there's value there. There's a quote by Mother Teresa that I love, which says, "I can do some things that you cannot. You can do some things that I cannot. But together, we can do great things." And the value of community is so powerful. We've seen right after Hurricane Irma in particular how communities came together. You know, we were housed together, we were cleaning up together, we were doing a lot of things, cooking together, you know, you were sharing with your neighbors. Have we lost that? Is there an opportunity to get back to that? I would dare say that there is. So the community work that we need to do is still there. We don't have to wait for a community leader or a district officer or anybody else to come in and tell us the things that we can see right there in front of our eyes. Maybe there's a cleanup campaign that needs to be done. Maybe there's an after-school activity that you can spearhead for the neighborhood children. Or maybe just having that listening ear, helping a single mom in your neighborhood, helping with the kids, helping with the whatever it is you can do. For us, individually, it may look differently. But there's work in our communities that we can do that will help us to press for progress as we rebuild the BVI. So again, I want to encourage you today, as we move forward in the next 6 months of our rebuilding process, I want you to set some goals around 3 critical areas: the work that you need to do on you, the work that you need to do in your families, and the work that you need to do in your communities. And together we can press for progress, one woman at a time. I thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Titley Smith. Did you all miss me? I disappeared for 2 seconds, I'm sorry. Yeah, so we're gonna do another token of appreciation for our lovely ladies. We're gonna go into our bag.
Hello again. We're going to do two prizes. So one will be another arrangement, and then we're also going to do a gift bag from CCT. They've generously offered to donate one of the gift bags with all of the lovely goodies that we see on the table and that they've been sharing with you. And one person will get one bag with lots of goodies all at once. So I'm going to go around and have 2 tickets pulled, and then we'll call the names as to who wins the flowers and then the CCT gift bag. Thank you.
All right, so while that happens, yes. Ms. Fenty, pull for yourself.
Alrighty. So, the first prize will be the arrangement, and it will go to Hyacinth Martin. Is she here? Left already? Oh, she's right. There you are, Miss Lovely. And then I'm going to go ahead and call, while Miss Martin comes up, I'm going to read the name of the second prize winner. It's Bria George. There you go. Okay.
And we'll have Ms. Morgan now.
Have you all been having a good time? Thank you. Now, we just listened to 3 wonderful and empowered women speak to us, and we want to officially thank them. So we're going to invite our Deputy Permanent Secretary, Ms. Tasha Bertie, to come and present a thank you token to all our presenters. Yes, you can clap her as she comes. And our first presenter, Dr. Virginia Rubin. Mrs. Wanda Hart-Smith, Financial Literacy Program. Thank you. And Mrs. Marva Titley-Smith from Zonta. Give her a round of applause. Give them all a round of applause again. Thank you. And we just want to thank everyone for coming today, for taking part. But especially we want to thank Zonta for partnering with us. Give Zonta a round of applause. They're real troopers. They were with us from the beginning. They work hard, they planned, they came, and they show the proper support. We also want to thank the Peebles Hospital, especially Ms. Pat Malone-Smith, for allowing us to use the air and also to provide us with chairs and tables. Give them a round of applause. They did very well. Thank you so much. We want to thank all our booth holders today, Family Support Network, the Housing Recovery Assistance Unit, Community Mental Health, Financial Literacy Program. We also want to thank Zonta was here, Office of Gender Affairs, and we want to thank CCT. Give them a big round of applause.